Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is January 17th, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the market's really tapering off on lighter volume due to the national holiday in the United States in observance of Martin Luther King's birthday. So the markets were really on light volume. Now looking at today, major economic events happening from Canada at 3:30 South African time. We have a yearly CPI on the Canadian dollar. That's an important event. Now, as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, Japanese yen gets weaker versus the US dollar, and both the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones just tapering off on off-time trading due to just tapering off. Okay, it's light trading session. Now, looking at commodities, gold steady and holds its gains, while oil tapering off as well. Looking at the stocks, none of them were trading yesterday, so nothing to really report there. And looking at Bitcoin, holds on to his gains. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're looking at the USD Japanese yen, and you could see pretty much it did bounce off of its lows yesterday of 127. So it's a little bit of capitulation. Okay, we did mention that it was getting closer to a supportish level for the dollar as it hit that 126-ish level, and sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. We're in a V formation. We mentioned this yesterday, and we're just about to start bouncing off of it. Okay, which means that the Dow Jones should be selling off. Not sure if that's still going to happen. Got to look at the markets for the next 2 weeks to see how they're going to continue into the latter part of January. Now, January is a very important month for the U.S. markets because it generally sets the momentum or the theme for the rest of the year. So it's a very important month, so just be aware of that. It's little these tidbits that help you understand the market because it's just seeing repetition in the markets just in general. Now jumping into the other majors, the USD, Euro USD really unchanged, a 108.30-ish level. Nothing doing here. Okay, the GBP USD yesterday just sold off a little bit and just trading sideways. Nothing really doing here. Let's jump into Canadian dollar because that yearly CPI number, if there are any surprises, you do want to be ahead of the game with it. Now, the USD Canadian dollar has really been trading in a very tight range, okay, relatively. Okay, from 137 to 134 is relatively a tight range for it. It's been generally range-bound trading because most of it is based on the price of oil. Now, we're at the bottom of the range. If we do break somewhere in this 133, we could get down to this 132, but you know, ostensibly, more likely we'll bounce, but I don't like to go into a number, so I'm not encouraging that. You might want to fade the move because many times there's been a reaction to it. So keep an eye on this because this could give you some action maybe on the upside if the number comes out better than expected, as some of the inflation reports around the world are getting better. Now, jumping into the commodities. First, looking at gold, tapering off 1910 from 1920, not doing much here. Okay, that's understandable. Yesterday the markets were closed. Oil also 79.48. It's on trading on lighter volume. If we look at the U.S. market, the Dow Jones also 34,372-ish level. It is trading in a tight range, not doing much also here. So keep that in mind. Now looking at the NASDAQ also, we gained quite nicely, but the question is, where do we go from here? Okay, we're going to experience a sell-off? You know, there's still this background noise that we're going to have this massive sell-off, this massive crash, and that has yet to be seen yet. Okay, that still has to be seen. So keep that in mind as this is still unfolding. Now, the U.S. markets were closed yesterday, so I'm not going to go over the stocks. I did do a review of the stocks yesterday. But if we look at Bitcoin, this would be the last one, it's holding steady at 21,100. Okay, it's not retracing. So this is encouraging. It may mean that we are actually finding a new level for it. But be careful with it. Okay, it is a type of asset that could move on a dime. Okay, you guys know that, I know that. So if you do decide to trade it, just be careful, set up your parameters beforehand. We are in a resistance level for all intents and purposes at this level of 21,000. So if it doesn't stay it may sell off from here. So keep that in mind. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.